He's forever a winner.
So who won?
We said, it was Stephanie Rawlings Blake from the mayor of Baltimore.
Oh, all right. Well, I could live with that.
Okay, I'm glad you can live with that, pal. A few minutes before the show ends here, Russ, we got a couple minutes left. We got time to talk about the other parts of the State of the Union. I mean, the president had 4 questions for us. How did I get here? Who am I? No, those weren't them. That was Admiral Stockdale, wasn't it? Talking about the economy, talking about, I guess, technology, talking about security, and then talking about the political climate and culture of America. And this is where he started taking his shots at Trump, where he started taking his shots at Cruz, talking about that you can't change America by changing the candidate, by just re-electing somebody. I'm sorry, yes you can. I think if we all cared more about politics, if we all cared more from the local level on up, don't just show up for the presidential election, show up for all the elections. I think the president is wrong here. Duh. Shocker, right? President's wrong because you change political culture by changing the leadership. You change the leadership by showing up to vote. And this is what Trump, I think, has in his back pocket. The idea of the silent majority, that nobody seems to know how to get out to vote. Republicans haven't figured it out. Democrats haven't figured it out. The fringes come out no matter what. Conservative voters will come out. People on the Twitters will come out. But how do you get people to defeat the couch? And this, I think, Obama is wrong about. If people show up and they vote, they're coming out because Trump told them to. And I think you'll see fundamental change when you get someone who can be potentially transformative, like Donald Trump, in office. I think Ted Cruz wants to be transformative. And I think that we as a nation should look for those type of people to be transformative in what's going on in the political culture of America. Forget about, we always like to wonk out and talk about the bills. But we need somebody out there to say, we will go to the moon. We need someone like that's what Trump did when he said, I'm building a wall and Mexico's paying for it. Everybody else will figure out how to get there from there. But Obama discounted the will of the people in his speech, and that really upset me. I don't know how you felt about that. Maybe it was towards the end and everybody was getting a little bit of fatigue. But that was the point that got to me the most. That he was dismissive of elections and the will of the people.
Well, look, Terry, another good comment in the chat room, wrote, Obama was actually trying to whip the Democrats into more political action. And I agree with that comment. I think Obama, listen, he's delusional, psychotic, neurotic, a whole bunch of oddics. But he's not dumb. He sees the writing on the wall here. He understands that a guy like Trump is going to unify a huge chunk of the electorate. We've had landslide victories in the House and Senate, and now we're going to, I predict, have a landslide victory for the White House. Landslide. I mean, states where we've never been competitive or haven't been competitive for many years, we will be competitive, especially if Donald Trump is our nominee. What I believe Barack Obama knows, and that most people don't seem to acknowledge in the political world, is that people identify as Republican and Democrat. A good number of people identify themselves as independent. Now, where the rhinos and the analysts and the wonks and the lobbyists, they believe that this independent group is just that, independent. But that couldn't be further from the truth. An independent truly is someone who either is a Democrat or a Republican but refuses to acknowledge either party. The issue, though, is people who were formerly Republicans and then all of a sudden identify themselves as independents will never vote for a Democrat. They won't. They'll never do it. They'll either sit it out or vote for a conservative Republican. That's it. Those are the only two options for an independent that leans Republican. Then you have your independents that lean Democrat. But those people will vote for a Republican because those people don't want to identify as Democrat. Why? Because the Democratic Party today is socialist, and they don't want to be a socialist, but they remember the John F. Kennedys, and they remember all the good things about the Democratic Party of yesteryear. So they don't want to leave the party, so they become independent, but they'll never for a socialist. But they will vote for Republicans, and that's why we have landslide victories every now and again. And Donald Trump is one of those people. One more note on this, which I thought was shocking. Fox News showed some polls that they took. And one poll showed 23% of the American people polled think that they are safer now over the last 7 years with Obama's policies towards ISIS. 23%. Now, I would like to propose that 23% is your hardcore leftist base. You're insane.
What we call the dead dog vote, right?
The dead dog Democratic vote. Because there's no way any rational person could say that Obama did a good job with ISIS.
Because you can put a dead dog in a Democratic uniform and they'll still vote for him.
And that's that 23% hardcore. Everyone else, I argue, because I would argue that the right has about the same. 25 to 30% of the population, diehard Republican, they're going to vote Republican no matter what. And then you have this mass of people in the middle, or the supposed independents. But in a poll like this, you see that even those people are not fooled by a guy like Barack Hussein Obama or the Democratic Party. They see the economy is not good despite what this president says. They see that national security is a disaster. They see that allowing Syrian refugees into a country is a disaster. Ask Germany and the women who were fondled, raped, and abused there. And when Donald Trump said rapists, drug dealers, terrorists, and killers are coming across the border, he wasn't making a mistake. He wasn't being melodramatic. He actually wasn't being tough enough, in my opinion. This was before the Syrian refugee crisis he said these things. And it's even more true now.
You know what? I think you hit on so many points, I can't even pick one out. But Amanda Cohut had a question for you in the chat room. I want you to address it in there as well, because the battle continues between you guys. But let's give the president this. Everyone should be optimistic in 2016. Republicans should be optimistic because, well, this is his last year. And that we are looking towards a future where we will most likely be electing a Republican president to go along with a Republican Senate and a Republican House. That's something to be optimistic about, because I think that's the road that President Obama has put us on. Tonight, he just gave everybody who is paying attention a new reminder that America's best days are in front of them because he is slowly turning behind us. President Obama's accomplishments, quote unquote, are nothing more than stealing liberty, half-truths, and rose-colored glasses. He touts 19 million people getting insurance via Obamacare, but we all forget that they were mandated to get that coverage or face a penalty from the IRS. He talks about renewable energy, yet expects us all to forget about Solyndra and all the other scandals in renewable energy because all the money wasted there because he wanted to push an agenda. We're supposed to talk about a renewal of American jobs and our economy rebirth, but we're supposed to forget about that shovel-ready jobs weren't shovel-ready, that millions of people have left the employment sector and aren't even being counted as unemployment, and that we have more people on food stamps and public assistance in this nation than we have at any other time in our history. Oh, and by the way, the world isn't safe anymore because we've allowed it to become more unsafe than it's ever been at any point in my lifetime. So thank you again, President Obama, for your State of the Union address. You just gave everyone a beautiful reminder of why our best days are in front of us, and you, hopefully very soon, will be behind us. Russ, you got anything to add for a final thought here before we get up on out of here?
Where to even go? But let me give it a shot.
Listen, we got so much time for final thought. You can take as much time as you want.
I just hope everyone feels safer after these last 7 years, and we got one more to go.
Safer with more money in our pocket and economic security. Oh, wait, no. $2,000 less per year in our pocket. People feeling less safe in their homes and in their cities. And
we have a booming economy with the largest amount of people out of the workforce in decades. Somehow that's a booming economy. We have gays and transgenders openly serving in the United States military. We have women in the front lines in combat roles while meeting different physical standards than their male counterparts. We have Syrian refugees coming to the United States with an open border on our south. Drug dealers, rapists, terrorists, killers, and all kinds of miscreants coming across. We have no idea who they are. We have deals with Iran. Tomorrow, $150 billion worth of sanctions is lifted. Meanwhile, they hold 10 American sailors hostage They've captured the boats that they were on. They're, as we speak, dismantling them, I'm sure. Dissecting the technology that's in their radio systems and communication devices and whatever weapon systems may have been on board. I hope everyone sleeps better and truly feels safer after 8 years, 7 so far, 7 down, 1 to go, of this madman in the White House. Madman.
You know, just to round it all off, let's leave on an optimistic note.
And you're worried about a guy like Donald Trump. I'm sorry, Gene. Anyone who's worried about a guy like Donald Trump, you got some nerve. You got some nerve saying that this guy, Donald Trump, is irrational. Look at the guy we just had for 7 years. He passed bills without Congress. Without Congress. There's a Constitution. Constitution be damned with this guy. And you're worried about a guy like Donald Trump. This guy still says he's going to close Guantanamo Bay. He's releasing 10 prisoners. Does anybody see this in the news today? 10 more are going to go. 10 more. Where are they going? Nobody knows. What country's going to take these 10 people? Nobody knows. Where are the rest of them going to go? Nobody knows. The 5 that we released for Bergdahl. Remember that traitor Bergdahl we released 5 Taliban prisoners from Guantanamo Bay? A person that they said served with distinction is now on trial. On trial for desertion. This president is damn near a traitor. Damn near. I hope you all feel safer. And anyone who says Donald Trump is irrational and can't be president and doesn't have the proper temperament, go F yourself. And that's a New York thing. I support Donald Trump, my New York brother.
Well, I was going to end on a high note, but you know what? I think we can end on that note. Russ Gallo, he vents the frustrations of Americans nationwide whenever he goes off on those rants. No more need be said from me, pal. You said it all, and thank God you're back this week. I think it's time to shut it down, though. What do you think?
I need a drink, Gene. Shut this mofo down.
All right, folks. We'll be back next week with some more show. We've got some big announcements coming about us going to First in the Nation up in New Hampshire, going to CPAC again. Whole lot of shaking going on here behind enemy lines. We're glad you're going to be here with us. But for now, we are out of here.
Our position's been compromised. It's time to roll out. Report for debriefing at www.behindenemylinesradio.us and look for regular communications via Facebook and Twitter at BEL_radio. You are the resistance. Behind Enemy Lines. Part of the Conservative Commandos Radio Network. A rock radio production. Copyright 2015. Back in 7 days. Out.